Hello everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome to a TBR Jar Chooses My February Reads video. Before we get started, my name is Emily, I'm 27 years old and I absolutely love books and reading. So let's get into it. I have never made a video like this before, this is a new channel, so I'm really excited that I can finally make my own TBR Jar video because I've always watched these on YouTube and I'm excited to make my own for my own channel now. So, you guys all know how TBR jars work, but I wrote down some TBR prompts on these pink slips of paper and I put them into a jar. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw out these slips of paper and use the prompts to pick my February reads. So I'm going to include books on my physical TBR. I also have some books that are on my Kindle Unlimited TBR, and there's some new releases that are coming out in February that I want to include in this as well. I do have a very busy February coming up, so I want to be realistic with how many books I can put onto my TBR. So I think I'm only going to be picking 5 books for this video, and then if I'm able to read more, I'm able to read more. So yeah, we're going to draw 5 slips of paper from our jar and use those prompts to pick our February reads. Let's get started. I want to shake this up first. Let me put the lid back on. Okay. Actually, these papers aren't moving at all while I'm shaking this, but it's okay. All right. The first prompt here is an author you've never read before. All right. So let's see. Okay. I think I know what I want to pick for this one. I think I'm going to choose When in Rome by Sarah Adams. I've actually never read a Sarah Adams book before, and I met Sarah Adams at Barnes & Noble Union Square a few weeks ago when she released Beg, Borrow, and Steal, and I know that I hope I'm really going to like Beg, Borrow, and Steal, but I do want to read this series in order, so I did pick up a copy of When in Rome and Practice Makes Perfect. So I think this is the perfect book to put on my TBR to start, so I can get to Beg, Borrow, and Steal soon. It also is February, so I feel like the romance vibes of When in Rome is perfect for February. This one is about a stranded pop star and a small town baker, and this will be a good read for the time of the year that it is as well. First book on the February TBR is When in Rome by Sarah Adams. Put that over there. All right, the next book on our February TBR, a book that starts with a random letter. Okay, so for this one, I need to use a random letter generator, and whatever letter the random letter generator picks is what the title of the book has to start with. So let me pull one up. Random letter generator. Okay, generate random letter. Okay, so I got J. I don't know if you can see that. But now we need to pick a book that starts with the letter J. Do I have one of those? I don't. Okay, I don't have a book that starts with the letter J on my physical TBR, so let me go to Goodreads and see if I can find one on there. I just sorted my want to read shelf on Goodreads by letter, so let me just go towards J now. Oh, okay. Here's one. I have Juniper Hill by Devney Perry, which is part of the Eden series. That is a Kindle Unlimited book. So I do have that one on my want to read shelf on Goodreads. I have a few other ones that start with J, but I think because it is February, we're in a romance mood, I think I should go with Juniper Hill. So I'm actually very happy with that. So far we have an author you've never read, and I picked When in Rome by Sarah Adams, and a book that starts with a random letter. We got J, and we chose Juniper Hill for that. All right, now time for the third book on the TBR. A book with a great first sentence. Okay, so I think for this one, I'll use what's on my physical TBR, and I will read the first sentence of a few of these books and pick whichever one I think is the most interesting. So let's see. Okay, so this one so far says, Alara Belrive had been able to walk through dreams for as long as she could remember. Okay, that's a pretty good first sentence, but let me read a few more. Okay, we're doing Beartown by Frederick Bachman. Okay, so this is the first sentence of Beartown by Frederick Bachman. Late one evening toward the end of March, a teenager picked up a double-barreled shotgun, walked into the forest, put the gun to someone else's forehead, and pulled the trigger. So I'm hooked. I feel like I'm cherry picking a little bit because I didn't read any of the other first sentences. I only read the first sentence of 2 books, but I think that this one is the winner by far. So we are going to put Beartown by Frederick Bachman onto the February TBR. All right, now time for the 4th book. A book with a person on the cover. Okay, so I'm between 2 for this one, I think, actually. So I kind of want to read Dinner for Vampires, which is Bethany Joy Lenz's memoir. This came out last year, and she's one of the starring actresses of the older TV show One Tree Hill. And this one is about life on a cult TV show while also in an actual cult. So she read a passage from this book during the event that I was at, and it was so engaging, and I just really want to hear her story in her own words. So this is one option because there is a person on the cover. There is a picture of her on the front. And my other option is Between Friends and Lovers. There's actually 3 people on the front, but I think this still counts. And this is it's a romance, but I feel like this is one of those romances that is more like literary fiction about like womanhood and things like that. So this one is also very interesting to me. But because I already have 2 romance books on this February TBR, I think I'm going to go with Dinner for Vampires. So let's put this on the February TBR. So this is book number 4. And put this one back, and let me put Heavenly Bodies back as well. All right. And now for the last book. Let's see. I'm so excited. Okay. A book over 500 pages. Okay. All right, I wasn't expecting that. All right, let me pick up some of these longer books. So I'm going back to Heavenly Bodies first. Let's see how many pages this is. I'm scared to see like a spoiler on accident. Okay, this one's 481, so this one does not work. Let's see, what else is long on here? It's Forged by Blood. All right, well, let's see how many pages this is. 389, that doesn't work. I'm gonna put that one back up there. Let's check An Ember in the Ashes. $446. I don't know if I actually have a book over 500 pages on here. Let me check this one, and then if this one isn't over 500 pages, we might have to pick something else for the last prompt. Because I don't have very many like long books on this right now. Yeah, this is 484. Huh. I feel like it's kind of cheating if I pick another book, but I mean, if I pick another prompt. But I think I have to. I really don't think I have anything over 500 pages right now. Okay, we'll pick another one. Okay. A book that matches the current season. Okay, so it's winter right now. Ooh, I guess I could do A Winter's Promise for that. So this definitely matches the current season. It's called A Winter's Promise. And this is about a character who can kind of walk through mirrors. That's interesting. So this is an option. I also am interested in Local Woman Missing. Does this have to do with winter? I don't know. The cover looks very wintry to me, but I don't think this one technically counts as a winter book. Okay. So because that doesn't fully count as a winter book, I think we will go with A Winter's Promise by Christelle Dabos. And this one's been on my TBR for a while, so I definitely think that it's good that I'm adding this to my February TBR, so we'll see if I'm able to get to this one. So we picked 5 books here for my February TBR. One of them is on Kindle Unlimited, and that one is Juniper Hill by Devney Perry, and that is a small town romance with a bit of a mystery element to it. And we also picked Sarah Adams's When in Rome, and this is another small town romance that takes place in Rome, Kentucky, and it's about a pop star and a small town baker, so this one I'm very excited for. I picked A Winter's Promise by Christelle Dabos. This is a YA fantasy book that I've had on my TBR for a while, so it's definitely good that I'm finally getting to this one, or hopefully getting to this one in February. I picked a memoir by Bethany Joy Lenz called Dinner for Vampires, life on a cult TV show while also in an actual cult. So this one I think is a good way to mix things up in February and read something out of my normal genre. And then finally we picked Beartown by Frederick Bachman because the first sentence was bone chilling, honestly, and I wanted to read this one in winter anyway. So those are our 5 books plus Juniper Hill, and I am really excited for this TBR. I feel like I cheated a bit because I skipped that one prompt, but I really don't think I have any books over 500 pages on my TBR right now. Oh, I actually think I do. I do have When the Moon Hatched. I did buy that book as well, but I don't think I'm up for that in February. I think that one requires a lot of brain power, and like I said, February is kind of a crazy month for me, so I don't think it's realistic for me to get to that one in February. But I do have it. It's fine. I think the 5 that we picked work. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my video today. If you did, please do all those classic YouTube things like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know in the comments if you think there's any other books that I should put on my February TBR. Let me know what's on your February TBR in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.